Jake's Furnishings with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston.
.com.
JakesFurnishings.com, he says. And we've got some furniture laying out front here. Not laying, but standing.
Standing. I actually no, I got a mirror laying down there.
Well, showing off.
Yep.
And a bunch of things going on inside. Jake, tell everybody what sales, what's going on here for the fall, new line, new anything that's happening.
We've got some new bunk bed lines, actually, that we're breaking out. Actually started putting them up yesterday and today. We've got some new mattresses that are about ready to be introduced that are pretty cool. I've never we kind of designed a new bed that's made out of gel.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a step above memory foam. Doesn't give you the hot spots like memory foam does for a lot of people. And unbelievably comfortable. It forms you perfectly and actually gives you resistance as well, which memory foam does not.
Right. I may need one of those. May need a bunk bed, too, coming up here.
You probably do need a bunk bed now.
No, I don't. Not now.
Fine.
But anyway, after the furniture.
Well, you can look online at jakesfurnishings.com.
Sure can. If you can't make it out, get on the internet, the World Wide Web. Hey, Jake, Western Michigan at Illinois today in Champaign, 2:30 p.m. start today. That's on the Big Ten Network. And
this is not a pushover game.
No, it's not. A lot of people
really
have kind of the people in the paper and ESPN, Big Ten Network, all that kind of stuff has kind of said that the Illini need to watch out for Western Michigan. Western Michigan comes into today 2-1. The Illini 3-0. Last meeting, Western Michigan beat the Illini 23-17. That was in 2008. So they've got a high-powered offense, which is led by the quarterback, Alex Carter. 681 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They've got a couple of receivers, 29 receptions, 363 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So this is not a light game. A lot of people have kind of written this game off as saying, it's out of conference, it's at home, they're coming off a big week. You find out what you're made of when you can come off a big week like last weekend when we beat Arizona State. I believe it was 17-14, something like that. And now you've got to take care of business. And we'll see what kind of team we really are.
Yeah, because this team can put up some points. I mean, Western Michigan can put up a few points against them. Their strong suit is their offense. Illinois' strong suit is their defense. So, hopefully the D's up for the challenge.
Their scoring is 18th in the nation, 41 a game. Last weekend, Arizona State, I believe, was 42 a game, and we held them to 14. So the experts always talk about that trap game in between you had a very emotional, a very big game last weekend, then you come into this weekend with a non-conference school, and then you hit conference next weekend. This is the meaning of that trap game where you've got to be ready and you got to be on your toes. And from what I've heard, some people that went over last weekend, it is a circus over in Champaign right now as far as the hype and everything going on with the Illini football.
Yeah, it's incredible right now. Actually, I just picked up some tickets for later on in the season.
You got my number, right?
I do. I think it might be stored in there.
Just
we'll see.
Double checking.
Plus, I got the parking pass.
Nice. For Michigan. So, and some of the, I guess one expert from the paper has Illini winning 34-17. They are a 13-point favorite today. So that would be
big spread, man.
That would be nice. We need a big W today to go into conference weekend, because after this weekend, like I said, I believe we hit conference, and that's that's Northwestern would be next weekend on October the 1st is at home on homecoming. So that's a big game. Always a big rivalry game in of course in state.
Absolutely. It's it's going to be a good time. Illinois against Northwestern is always fun at home. That should be a good win for Illinois. That shouldn't. That's more of a pushover game than I think today is, to be honest.
Really?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, let's take care of business today. We got a little football to talk to. Coach McDonald and a couple players have just pulled up, so we will get them here in just a minute. But the football, NFL going on this weekend, this Sunday. Of course, the Bears.
Man,
did they look bad last weekend.
Well, you got to look at, too, they were playing in New Orleans, which is a tough place to play. And when they don't run the ball and New Orleans can just do one thing, blitz the quarterback.
They did plenty of that.
And they did it well, unfortunately. No balance on the Bears offensively. They weren't that far behind where they needed to just pass the ball, but good old Marks was pulling out the chuck and go.
Well, and Tice has got to get back to work on the offensive line. I mean, you've got to give Cutler time. You can't.
There.
Yeah. You can't give Cutler a fault for this. He didn't have any time to do anything.
No,
and
the
the
receivers weren't even getting.
No, he didn't have a chance to. He was on his backside, and for as good as they looked week 1, and for as bad as they looked week 2, what can you expect this week at Green Bay? No, at Chicago.
It's at Chicago,
yes,
but
Chicago.
You're still missing at least one offensive lineman.
Right.
So
it's
going to be tough, but I don't think.
Do.
Well, they're always going to blitz. I mean, that's pretty much a given. You've got to be able to get them so they're in one mode. If you run the ball and you can put up a few points right off the bat, it's going to make it a little tougher for them to blitz constantly.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You're going to have to put up points against Green Bay because they're going to.
They're going to.
And even though as good as the Bears' defense is, pretty tough to stop that.
Well, the defense played fairly well last week, I thought. I mean, they couldn't – they were gassed at the end.
Oh, yeah, the heck they were.
But they were on the field three-quarters of the game.
The offense should have had plenty of energy. They weren't on the field. A couple of other notable games for the area. People that enjoy teams from, like St. Louis. Baltimore is at St. Louis this weekend. A big game is New England and Buffalo. Buffalo may be the surprise of the NFL right now. A good start, 2-0. Of course, New England 2-0. You got two of the hottest quarterbacks in NFL, and Fitzpatrick and Brady. And Detroit. Detroit is at Minnesota. So there's another division game. And Detroit has looked very good, and Minnesota not very good.
No. Detroit's looked like maybe the class of the NFC North so far.
Right, yeah. Some big wins already for the Lions. But, hey, we want to take a quick commercial break here and get to Coach McDonald after that big victory last night, 54-20 over the Spartans from Southeast. He's also got a couple players, looks like, with him. So, hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break here from Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN. Jake's Furnishings. You're in the Cheap Seats. Josh Komnick, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. And the coach, the offensive coordinator, too. I know you took accountability for that last night.
No, I mean that is a team effort from coaching staff and players, and you know what? Last night, anything we called was being successful the way the guys played.
Sound like it, yeah. Sound like it as I was listening to 96.3 FM. Pretty much everything worked last night for the Railers, 56-20 over the Spartans. The Railers improved to 2-3, 2-2 in the conference. I want to run over those scores from the Central State 8 real quick, too, while we got you on here, Coach. 47-42, Chatham over Gateway. 55-14, Jacksonville won over Lanphier, and Rochester was a winner, 57-12 over Taylorville. Coach, before leading up to this week, did you feel that having Lanphier last week, having Southeast coming in this week, that it kind of prepared you a little more, being the same type of athletes, the same type of speed that you're going to see? The guys got to see it from Lanphier, and they kind of knew what could happen against Southeast.
Yeah, because we typically they are pretty similar. Again, because they usually have some big linemen and are usually pretty aggressive and usually have some extremely good athletes that are hard to wrap up. I think that did help prepare for this week in Southeast.
Any changes as the week went on in practice that you threw in? Any some different new plays that you saw kind of that Southeast may not be able to stop because obviously what you called did work. Did you change up anything, defense, offense, anything leading up to get ready for Southeast?
Not really. Really didn't make too many changes, just kind of maybe tweaked a couple things and still just trying to get better each week with what we've been doing.
Notice any difference in the guys coming off a win as to coming off a loss in the week of practice?
These guys have been pretty consistent, and probably more of a difference coming off of the Jacksonville game. I think that game gave us the confidence to play with them, a caliber team that they always are.
Sure.
And then obviously last week was just a big morale booster, I guess, to play that well on both sides of the ball, and felt like for all 4 quarters and to win a close one there at the end. I think it felt great to all of us, and so the guys were anxious to get out and get on the field again.
Sure. Big win last night, Coach. You guys taking the day off today, or what's going on today?
We just we did a little bit of kind of light stretching and lifting in the morning, and they've got the rest of the day off.
Nice.
Should have brought that. Unfortunately, should have brought the cheerleaders in there. They're not too happy with you after all those points. They need a little stretching and a little.
How many push-ups?
252. Man, I'm still. There's no way I could get out and do 252 push-ups.
Well, I hope we can continue.
I hope you give him 300 next weekend on homecoming.
On homecoming.
Hey, we've also got Moses Rogers in here, and also Evan Offenball is joining us. And Moses has got the mic now, so we're going to start with Moses. Moses, give us. Of course, we know your name now, but give us what year in school you are and how long you've been involved with Rayler football.
This is my senior year, and I started playing varsity about the 4th or 5th game my freshman year. It was fun. They were 0-4 up till then. They played Chatham the 5th game that year. Got the first win. They won 3 consecutive games. It was fun to start varsity off like that. Yeah. Played varsity sophomore year. Had a senior running back get hurt. Got a lot of time that year, and junior year was fun for me too. And high school's flying the senior year.
Yeah. And go ahead. Sorry.
I've had 2 pretty good games.
Yeah.
The linemen have been doing great. I mean, it's fun to run long, get touchdowns, but none of that can be done without the big guys in front of me. It's fun to do.
Yeah, sure, and that's exactly what Moses is talking about. 2 straight 100-yard games for Moses, and he put it up again last night for 111 yards rushing against Southeast. Anything in the last night that was any different? That just big holes, and you used your quickness, your speed to get through them.
Yeah, like we talked about, Lanphier and Southeast are usually pretty similar teams. They got guys coming out, they put their linebackers up, safety flies up, and it's just you got to see that hole coming at the beginning. You see it, you go out. Sometimes you sprint out, sometimes you cut it up. You just got to be ready to prepare for anything. They're good athletes. You got to be ready to do what you have to do.
Well, that's exactly what you guys did this last night, Moses. It sounded like the offense was definitely ready. And hand the mic here to one of the guys that paves the way for Moses for those big gains and those 2 100-yard games back-to-back. For that is Evan Offenball. Evan, how old are you, and what year in school are you, and how long you been in the football program?
I'm a senior this year, and this is my 4th year Lincoln football, 3rd year on varsity squad.
And Evan, we talked with Moses about his position a little bit. Give us your position and maybe the fun things about being in that position.
I'm left guard, so I get to lead block on the jet sweep, so that's probably my favorite play.
Nice. Is it the most activity, so the most fun that you get to have out there blocking for Moses and all the running backs. This is your senior year. What else leading up? You got 2 victories in a row. You want to keep it going, but maybe one of the teams that you've got coming up that is the funnest team for you to play against.
I'm really excited for Chatham next week.
Okay. Homecoming.
Yeah.
That adds a little more. Not only is it Chatham, but it adds a little more for homecoming.
Yeah. Big game.
Good. Hey, Coach, getting back to the game here a little bit. Started right off the bat for you guys. A couple plays, a couple touchdowns, a couple possessions, a couple touchdowns. We kind of held them there once, and then they kind of got rolling too a little bit. So right from the beginning, it looked like there were going to be a lot of points put up.
Yeah, they had a couple big plays there. I think just a little bit of confusion on assignments and rotation and defensive, and we got that figured out. Didn't have any more problems with it, and our defense stepped up and just did a great job. And credit our defensive line also of putting some great pressure on their quarterback last night. I mean, he was running for his life, and we were blitzing a lot, and guys were going hard with a great aggressive killer instinct attitude to get to him. Perfect. And so he never had time to set up. And I think as we got up, I think what we were even as much pleased about is that we didn't let up. I mean, we kept coming at them hard, both sides of the ball.
And that's what happened. The Railers rushed for 398 yards last night. Huge stat. Leisinger rushes for 3 touchdowns and throws for 2. Schlater rushes for 2 touchdowns, catches 2 receiving touchdowns. Rogers, of course, with 111 yards. And offensively, was it really anything that you called, like you talked about, was kind of working, but you mixed some passes in there too, and it seemed like those were working, and some guys brushed some tackles. The guys on the kicking the PATs were making the PATs. All in all, pretty much a good night for the Railers.
Yeah, again, those are fun because all facets of the game were going well, and we weren't as successful throwing the ball as we would have liked to be. We had some early on some openings that we just missed them a little bit, and really didn't need to throw much after that because our running game was doing so well and eating the clock away. And when you got 3 or 4 guys that are running that hard, we like to get the ball in their hands and keep getting the opportunity to rack up some yardage. And we are constantly challenging our offensive line just to get off the ball and stay low and to drive people and get movement. I think it did a great job last night, creating some big holes. Yeah,
not only Cruz running the ball, of course, Rogers, Schlater. You heard a lot of Schlater last night on the radio. Defensively, also seemed like he was everywhere on the field.
Yeah, he was, and he has been. He's been. He's one of those kids that he's a inside linebacker, and he's making plays all over the field and just going aggressive. And he's a strong kid and quick and aggressive. And he also had 100 yards rushing last night. So we had 2 guys with 100 yards and. Tank Anthony Cannon came in and gave Andy Cruz some breaks offensively and did a real nice job running the ball hard too. And I've been so impressed with all of our running backs at just how hard we are running. They're really fighting for every foot they can get.
Coach, you got to play some extra guys last night. Sounds like for maybe the first time this year. Anybody stand out that we don't normally talk about that was like I kind of like to see what he was doing last night.
We got to play some more guys. Austin Cruz got in there, who was our backup quarterback, a sophomore, and I think did a good job. And we tried to keep it pretty simple for him since that was his first varsity experience out there. And but I think just by the look in his eyes and the way he handled himself, I think he showed real good composure for being out there for the first time.
Coach, football. On the defensive side last night, it seemed like the Railers, like you guys, had a lot more turnovers. Was that because of some differences in that you made, or was it Southeast throwing us a ball? It seemed like we were intercepting quite often, and not necessarily the fumbles a lot, but a lot of interceptions by the Railers last night.
Yeah, and I credit that to our defensive backs just reacting, going hard at the ball, and good jumps on the ball, and a lot of that also is the pressure we put on the quarterback with our defensive line and linebackers blitzing that he was. I don't think he was ever really get good looks. He was on the run and having to throw off balance and. That can create turnovers. We've really been the last few weeks have been emphasizing the guys and their tackling to strip the ball, and I think we knocked 1 or 2 loose last night. And I think we're doing a better job of that also.
Coach, of course, homecoming coming up. Just a little bit, I don't want to say an distraction. It's a great time for the students, great time for the kids, the players to enjoy high school and what it goes. But, of course, there's some different things that go on, wacky Olympics that keep the guys up a little later and maybe something that crosses their mind other than football. How do you, as a coach, being your first year, do you think that you have to keep the guys focused on really what's at hand? Yes, we want to have a good time at homecoming, but it would be a lot better time at homecoming if we come away with a W. Yeah,
that could be a challenge. And again, we want them to enjoy the week because it can be a really fun week.
Yeah.
We've got a good, I think, a pretty mature group of seniors that have been through this before, and I have high expectations that they're going to kind of set the lead example for this and being disciplined as far as getting to bed on time.
Telling them right now as we have two sitting behind us.
Right. And again, having fun, but remember that we've got a purpose for this homecoming, and that's on Friday night, and we've got to continue to take strides forward each day in practice, and we've got a very tough game coming up on Friday night, and they all know that, and so we've just got to be very disciplined and focused on that.
I have been watching the highlights, of course, every Friday night on the news. Sounds like Chatham. What can we expect from Chatham? I've seen their running back is a tough running back, a big guy, fast. What else can we expect from the Titans?
I mean, Chatham's one of those teams that I think year after year they're pretty similar. They typically don't change much offensively, defensively because they're successful at it. They've got a system, and they come in there and they learn how to do their system very well. Their kids are typically very athletic and very aggressive. They take a lot of pride in their program.
Sure.
That's something that I think that we're trying to strive for, to have kids coming in the program and having a great deal of pride and playing football. We don't expect anything drastically different from them. They have a lot of confidence in what they do, and we've got to be ready to play, and we've got to come out and come right at them. And
they do it pretty well, being that they were, runner-up last year in 7A, 6A, something like that in state? So
5A.
5A. So, yeah, you've got a tough one, but we wouldn't want it any other way on homecoming. Evan, aside from football, what's the thing that you look forward to on homecoming weekend?
Wacky Olympics is always fun.
Okay. What do you take part in anything on the Wacky Olympics? I remember I was the one that took part in goalpost volleyball, which was fun thing for me, but what do you take part in the Wacky Olympics?
I'm on the tug of war team.
Tug of war. Well, we got
big guys.
We can't. You can't pass up a lineman on the tug of war team.
Yeah.
Evan, thanks for stopping in. Hand it over to Moses real quick. Moses, what's one thing that you look for besides football on that week of homecoming?
I'm also looking forward to the Wacky Olympics. Our class, if we win, this will be our third consecutive year winning the Wacky Olympics.
Hey, that's what I like. And what do you take part in on Wacky Olympics?
I'm part of there's a dress relay, and we're starting a new relay up this year. It's a tricycle relay, so I'll probably do that too.
Okay. Nice. So we need the speed on the relays. So we
Yeah.
got that. All right. Hey, Moses, thanks for stopping into you and Evan. Good luck this weekend, guys, in homecoming and the rest. And even after Lincoln High School, we thank you for giving all the effort that you have out on the football field. And, Coach, again, thanks for stopping by, and let's put up 56 more next weekend.
Hey, sounds good.
At the
Appreciate
pretty
it.
field,
At,
right?
Yes, and the cheerleaders promised to have
Got
a
a home
cute
field.
field.
The field
So,
will
and that's
be
what the
very
guys. They
cute
said
and
that's what the
pretty.
guys wanted.
That was
so.
the words, acute or
Cute,
pretty?
cute,
and
cute,
pretty.
Oh, boy.
cute field. So you will have a cute field to play on next weekend. Everybody head
That'll
out.
get you ready, won't it?
Of course, you'll be out at the parade next weekend, getting ready for the homecoming game, and then you've got the homecoming game next Friday night at Hanlon Field against the Titans from Chatham. The Railers look to get three in a row. That's what we're looking for. 3 in a row wins. Hey, that's going to do it. I want to thank Coach McDonald for coming in, Moses and Evan, of course, Rod for calling in. He won the trivia, the pizza. Jake was a little mad because he didn't get the free pizza, but
I think I could do without.
Jake,
for 1 week.
Jake, thanks for having us out here at your furniture store. Everybody stop out here at Jake's 1100 Woodlawn Road, and Jake will be here till when today?
I'll be here till 5 o'clock this evening, or check me out online at jakesfurnishings.com.
That's going to do it. Hopefully a Illini win and a Bear win this weekend. From Jake's, that's going to do it. Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.